Hi, my name is Jacek, and I'm here to present our project, which looks at the gas cost schedule and try to answer the question, how accurate are actually the gas costs that we associated with each of the opcodes. So what we did, we created some methodology which evaluates each opcode, and more importantly, we want to share those tools so anyone can reproduce our results. And then at the end, we of course want to look at the existing gas cost schedule and update it. So what we did, for each of the opcode, we created a series of bytecode programs where we test opcode under different conditions and different number of times we execute each opcode. So we can see that by increasing the times we execute each opcode, the total time to execute increases as well. And then by using some statistical tools, we can figure out for each opcode more or less what time it takes. And as we can see, the results are pretty consistent for each opcode, but there are differences between opcodes, which also indicates differences between gas that each opcode should be associated with. Now, the same process, this gives us a good view of a single EVM client. The same process we replicate for a number of clients, that's 7 in the total, most popular that we found. And this is where the fun begins, because these results are made on different technology stacks, different languages and everything. So what we want to do is to remove any noise and bring them to a common ground. So we rescale all the results so they can be compiled on a single graph, and we can see differences and how actually each of the opcode consume time and efforts on the executing machine. Now, what we do, it's a huge data set. What we do with this data set, we want to analyze it and say, well, our existing gas cost schedule can be updated. So we came up with 2 options. First option is more conservative. We take the existing gas cost schedule and we try to fit the data that we got from our benchmarks into this existing gas cost schedule and only update what is necessary. So in this case, we can see that the mul mode was underpriced. We need to increase the price of it. On the other hand, exp behaves much better, and we can lower the gas associated with exp going forward. We also measure the precompiles. In this case, EC recovery, as many people point out, is much more expensive than the current gas cost. So that's a conservative way of updating the gas cost schedule. Now, the other way of doing this is more radical. When we forget the current gas cost schedule and we start from clean page. So we take the least expensive opcode, assign it with gas cost 1, and then gradually we increase gas cost as we go to the more expensive opcodes, which is an interesting approach because it's completely new gas cost schedule. It's a massive change, but there are some benefits of doing it. If we do it that way, we can lower overall cost of each opcodes because we start from 1 and we know that EVM clients are getting better, the machines are getting better, so it does reflect the reality by lowering everything. And by keeping the cost of state changes at the same level and lowering the computational cost, we increase the gap, which might in the future promote more effective use of the data in smart contracts. But of course, it does require a big change on EVM clients. Anyway, all our methodology, the tools that we use, the benchmark, the decisions that we took on the way, it's all explained in our repo. The EIP is coming with the proposal to change the gas cost schedule. Once I finalize it, I will link it in the repo as well. So, thank you. question.
All right, let's hear it for Mr. Glen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Gas. Always the biggest conversation in the room. How can we improve our gas? How can we make it more efficient? Now, we are waiting for questions to come in. So if you don't mind helping me scan the QR code, I don't want to block it with my hair, but you can scan it and ask some questions. Now, I do understand, because the format of this talk is lightning, it's just 5 minutes. Sometimes you need a bit of time to digest the content from the speaker, and I totally understand. Mr. Glen, I want to ask, a few people were actually taking some pictures of your slides because I think they want to go home and they want to read it. If they come and meet you personally later, would you be able to give them a copy of the slides? Is that okay with you? Maybe if people want to understand a bit better, they can ask you more.
Of course.
Of course, that's what I want to hear. So I know a few people were taking out their phones and snapping pictures. Don't worry. Our speakers are here because they want to share their knowledge with you. The format of this talk is a bit short. Yes, I do understand, and it can be a bit challenging, but don't worry. If you have any questions or you want a copy of the slides, just check with our speakers. They're so friendly. We've got one question on the screen. Thank you so much. Let's look at it together. Did you find or recommend new useful OP code to reduce gas costs with your experience?
It's a vast topic, whether we want to add some new opcodes or not. From the new opcodes that we already added, the M copy is definitely a winner. But whether we want to add any other new opcodes, yeah, there are lots of things in the pipeline coming, like EVM Max, for example, and other stuff. But having our methodology, we can come and measure it correctly and assign it with some gas cost in the future.
Oh, just as you answered first question, we've got a second one. Are the proposed new gas costs based on some scientific method, or are they manually chosen?
Definitely not manually chosen.
Okay, good.
I recommend you going to our depot and look at all the methodology and statistics that we used in order to come up with the proposal.
Very good. A science-based approach is always one of the best. I'll wait another 10 seconds to see if anyone else has a question they'd like to ask. And remember, the only way to collect your card to show proof that you attended the session is by scanning the QR. So you have to scan the QR, and then when you enter the Q&A, choose Collect Card. Okay? We've got a few more seconds. I'll wait for another perhaps 10 if there are any questions. Now again, like I said earlier, our speakers are very generous. They're here to share their knowledge. Of course, the format of 5 minutes is a bit tricky.